Hey race fans, NASCAR Know here with your NASCAR Xfinity season recap. What a season it was. It was awesome, sometimes depressing, and then at the end it turned out to be awesome again, especially if you're Daniel Suarez, who became the first non-American driver to win a NASCAR title as he captured the Xfinity Championship for 2016. What a breakout season it was for him, scoring his first career Xfinity win at Michigan over, honestly, the best Xfinity driver in NASCAR, Kyle Busch. And then winning a few more times, and then winning the finale at Homestead and securing the championship for Eris and Joe Gibbs Racing. It was just an unbelievable season for him and his entire crew. And I know he's going to be moving up to the Sprint Cup Series eventually. It's just, I mean, it depends on, if he wants to be with Gibbs. Does he want to go somewhere else? Or will he have to replace some of the Sprint Cup guys at Gibbs, like Matt Kenseth possibly, or Erik Jones could be taking that spot pretty soon. And then other drivers for the season, what a breakout year also for Elliott Sadler, because 2015 statistically was not a good season for him at all. He had no wins, and I was honestly surprised that he was going to do because I thought he was going to do well with Roush. That didn't happen. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. took a chance at Elliott and signed him on for 2016, and he broke out by winning at Talladega and a controversial finish between him and Brennan Poole, where it looked like Poole was in front during the caution after the leader Joey Logano wrecked. But after looking at the replays, they determined during the moment the caution lights came on, Elliott Sadler was ahead, and he had the victory. Then he won at Darlington, a track that he's been dying to win at. And he did it in a throwback scheme to where he drove the City Financial Ford when he drove for Robert Yates Racing. And it was a very special one for Elliott. Then he went on to win at Kentucky, which was another great victory for Elliott. And, I mean, honestly, I felt I wanted him to win this championship. I know he came close, but it was still a wonderful season for Elliott Sadler. Same for his teammate Justin Allgaier. I mean, he didn't win, but you know what? To go from driving for a crappy Sprint Cup team the past years to being in a competitive Xfinity car, make it to the Final Four, that just shows that this kid has talent. And he's not a terrible driver. He's a really good driver. Now, as for Erik Jones, it was a great year for him. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the season, inconsistency affected him, especially with the loss of his dad before the Michigan race. It was a sad time for Jones, but he was able to advance to the Final Four, and he didn't get the championship, and now he begins his quest for the NASCAR Sprint Cup title when he drives for Furniture Row Racing next year. Other drivers that did well in the chase. I mean, Ty Dillon, he didn't win, but hey, he did well for RCR, and now he's going to Germain Racing for next season. Another good year for Brendan Gaughan in the 62 team. Brendan Poole showed that he can win races, and we've seen a lot from young gun Brandon Jones, but I want to talk about some of the underdogs, and I typically mean the Roush guys. Ryan Reed, the diabetic kid, had more top tens this season than his past two previous seasons combined. And he made it all the way to the round of 8. I know he didn't advance to Homestead, but this kid can drive a race car. He did well, and so did his teammate Darrell Wallace Jr. He had a chance to advance to Homestead by winning at Phoenix, but he wrecked, and he was driving for his grandmother, who earlier in the week passed away, and he was very emotional in his interview, and he said we've had the crappiest luck before that, and he was able to turn around with a decent run until that wreck, and I feel bad for Bubba, and hopefully he can come back next year and have a solid run of the Xfinity title if he signs back on with Roush. Now, underdogs like Colleague Racing, a new team with RCR Power driven by Blake Cook and Chris Rice with Lee Filter, they made all the way to the round of 8 and finished the season in the top 10 in points. The biggest underdog story of the Xfinity season by far. Blake Cook drove better than he had in his previous seasons, even driving full-time or part-time in the Xfinity Series. And then Ryan Sieg did a decent job. And then we saw, of course, the success over the whole season with Kyle Busch winning. The 22 Xfinity team didn't get to victory lane. I'm upset about that. Chase Elliott won the opener at Daytona. Austin Dillon won a crazy finish on the final lap of the Fontana Xfinity race that I had to miss, unfortunately, until I saw the replay, and it just blew my mind away. A great Xfinity season, but what should we expect for next year? We'll find out. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe button, put a good year like in this video if you enjoyed it. I hope everybody that's an Xfinity fan out there is ready for 2017. I know I am. Good night.